Well, it looks like Rick Perry made the decision to suspend his campaign in part because Newt Gingrich has been surging here in South Carolina, and conservatives are very eager to consolidate some backing around one candidate who's an obvious alternative to Mitt Romney. Perry was scoring very low in the polls. He really wasn't getting any traction. Newt is surging, and Perry seemed to make a strategic decision that it was time to get conservatives behind one candidate, and that Gingrich was the best person to carry that banner. Perry did not have a ton of support here, so numerically, will it make a ton of difference in terms of shifting votes to Newt Gingrich? Unclear. But this is a really important part of some momentum that we are really seeing to build around Newt Gingrich. Polling shows him within striking distance of Governor Romney. Rick Santorum, the other conservative, doesn't seem to be picking up a whole lot of traction here. So this is just the latest thing that's going to give the Romney campaign some heartburn in the next couple of days. He's under fire. Governor Romney's under fire for his tax returns, for his income that he apparently was taxed at a much lower rate than many Americans. He's had a couple of really bad days here in South Carolina, and Newt Gingrich has had some really good days. So it's all about momentum, especially when you're 48 hours away from the primary. We also got news today that Governor Romney, in fact, was not the clear winner of the Iowa caucuses, that a recount of the votes and this final certification shows that Rick Santorum actually won by about 34 votes, although Iowa is not calling it a victory for Rick Santorum. They're calling it essentially a tie. It's a huge bummer for Rick Santorum, who could have come out of Iowa with a ton of momentum. I mean, he probably was never going to do great in New Hampshire, which was the next state. It's really not quite his state. But instead, what happened was Romney got all the momentum coming out of Iowa. So this news out of Iowa does take a little bit of luster away from Romney, but frankly, that's all in the past. I mean, Iowa at this point feels like it was weeks and weeks ago. He's still the strongest candidate overall in terms of having the most support nationally, the most money. He's certainly the prohibitive favorite, no matter what happened in Iowa. The question is what's going to happen here in South Carolina, and if he stumbles here, that is going to give a lot of conservatives hope that there would be a chance to catch him with another candidate.